So the conversation around cloud for customers are changing into a discussion with the CEO. And the discussion is led with a digitization strategy. And cloud is part of the enablement of that digitization strategy. In the past, we used to have a discussion with the CIO around cloud, which spoke about optimization of infrastructure, CapEx spend reduction. But now it's all about digitization and business transformation. So customers at this stage want service providers and cloud providers to start focusing on their business priorities. And it is our responsibility to start understanding customers' business priorities. And they normally focus on how can they innovate and deliver new services, how can they streamline their workforce, how can they optimize business processes, how can we help them market their product and services. And cloud is that enabler to make that business functions work. The need for customers to move towards a digitization strategy to enable their organization using digitization. But the existing pain points that they will also try to deal with at the same time is how do they move costs that they're currently spending on running the environment to using some of that funds to innovate in the organization. And a way to do that as well is using cloud to enable that, because you can move your spend into an area that immediately starts delivering business innovation and stop spending in an area where you try to maintain state or try to maintain infrastructure that keeps on depreciating. What is common amongst the various customers is the ability to spend relative to their revenue of their organization. So what we are able to do is to scale the solutions. An enterprise wants an enterprise class service. A mid-market organization may not be able to afford it. They may not be able to even afford on-premise infrastructure. So we can start actually providing them some of those benefits, and as they grow in their organizational structure, we can add more of the scalability and more of the enterprise class features to the solution that they need at that point in time. The requirements around our public sector customers are slightly different. They need to deal with different kind of restrictions, some of them around legislation, governance, a large amount around connectivity. So there's another way that we need to deal with those customers, and the way that we engage with them, their business priorities are different, their stakeholders are different, and that also means that we have to engage with them in a very different way. A customer that's on a journey for digitization is doing it because they want to achieve a certain business result. They look at technology to enable that business requirements. They look at cloud as a business enablement to achieve the outcome. It is, however, not the only technology that they may need to consider. They may need to consider a strategy around unified collaboration to enable the employees to be more effective and to be more productive. They may need to look at a strategy around big data, on how they can consume a huge amount of data and do analytics and use that for predictive decision making. And they need to also understand how the world of the Internet of Everything or the Internet of Things help them in collecting data to make those right business decisions. Customers that haven't embarked on a digitization strategy don't need to fear. They can catch up. So it's not too late to start. It's important to have that in the back of the organization strategy. How are we going to get there? It's more important to start realizing what those benefits are. Understanding what those benefits are will give you the strategy and the business justification to start the journey. That's also why it's important to embark with the right partners. They can lead you on the way. You may not have to elect those partners to actually execute your strategy, but bringing in that external knowledge, that industry experience, it's going to make you relevant to understand that business priority. In the absence of a digitization strategy means that you may lose certain abilities to remain competitive. You're going to remain in a situation where you are capital intensive. You're going to remain in a situation where the applications that you are used may be overly complex, overly designed. They may also get into a situation that you cannot maintain features. There's even situations that you need to consider that your applications can run out of technical support, and how are you then going to support your organization if the product is not maintained or the latest features are not being used by your organization and leveraged. Organizations that's embarking on a cloud strategy need to understand how they want to get to that environment. They need to understand where are they in their journey, but they also need to understand which service provider will give them the best results. As part of that process, they need to evaluate the capability of the service provider. Are they best in class in delivering services? Customers want service, always on, always available. So you're looking for an organization that can give you great service. You're looking for an organization that can give you great connectivity. If there's a cloud and you cannot connect to it, then it isn't a cloud. You're looking also for an organization that can put the best clouds in the best data centers. You want your clouds to be secure, you want your cloud to be looked after, and you want your cloud to be always on. Another important feature when you look at your service providers is, do they have the backing of international providers? The Microsofts of the world, the SAPs of the world, the Amazons of the world. These provide credibility to your service provider to provide you end-to-end services.